I wanted to show you this book. It's Lynette's book. It's a Dover publication, Authentic Art Deco Jewelry Designs. And this week we are doing an Art Deco Impression Die Spotlight. And I just quickly flipped through this book. Oops. And I saw a lot of designs that I think could work really well with some of the impression dies that we have this week. So I wanted to just kind of flip through this a little bit. And I made stampings of some of the little shot plates and other designs of the impression dies that we have available this week. Pull them all down here if you can see them. We've got a couple really good shot plates and some bar pins, some rings, some earrings. Try to scoot this up so you can see. So these are just a handful of the Art Deco designs that are up right now at potterusa.com under the Facebook specials tab. So I just quickly flipped through it. I thought this could be a fun way, like if you've seen some of the dies and you're not really sure how they could be used, this book gives you a couple ideas. So this is one of the shot plate designs, and it could be used, sort of like, I need to elevate my book a little bit, I think. But as a link, you would add, either a hinge or like a jump ring, some sort of connection there to make a linked necklace or bracelet. Okay, bear with me for just a second. I'm going to lift my book up a little bit so that you can, rather than zoom in. Let's see. We may make some changes to this setup later too, but for now, I think this will be better. Okay, so these are just kind of traditional Art Deco designs. And yeah, we're just gonna flip through and see if there are some elements that, just to kind of give you some inspiration for how to use some of the impression dies that we have available this week. Let me scoot this over. So they're black and white illustrations. We have a shot plate that has a couple of these little tiny, they're almost faceted elements. Ooh, yeah, Lynette has it handy. I don't remember which one is the extra one. Yep. So this is, one of these shot plates has 4, and then this has an extra one on it, but I'm not sure which one it is. But we have these little tiny, oops, gosh, if I can get it to focus. They have these little tiny faceted elements. I'm gonna keep that over here. But see, like in this section here, like on this necklace, something like this could be used as a linking element. You could play around with something like these smaller ones maybe. There's just a lot of designs in this book that can work with the ones we've got up this week if you're needing a little inspiration. Okay. I'll just kind of flip through it quick and see if there are any that give you a little bit of inspiration. These Dover books are so good for reference, for design and idea development. Yeah, so something like this could be, maybe you link a couple of these smaller staggered pieces together. We'll fly back over to this page. So these are probably pendants. They would also work for earrings. So the design is different, obviously, but thinking about different elements that you could suspend from the bottom of this impression die, you could Oh, goodness. Try and find a good one. Maybe it's something, I don't know, like this. That could be a cool drop. Adding some gemstones, marcasite. I mean, that's what was used a lot. So marcasites would be a good choice to include as well. So we'll just keep on flipping. If you see something that you want me to kind of play around with, let me know and I'll try and go back and find it. This is kind of a nice bail element. You could do, oops, let me grab one. You know, maybe there's this small decorative element. Really pretty. Create some sort of pendant bail design. You keep looking, so it's fun to see just different orientations, how you can think of some of the impression dies that we do sell in maybe different ways than you normally would. So again, here's another good example of a drop. And maybe there's a large faceted stone that you suspend from the bottom of it. Let's see. Here's some bracelet ideas. You know, these, I don't have stampings of all of the dies that are offered, but I know that there's one that could be possibly use something like this where a center piece gets, the ends would be formed into a loop and attached to these sort of teardrop shapes to create like a panel type bracelet, an ID style. Something like this piece. Imagine that these are not to scale. So if you shrunk this bracelet down and created something where this was like the end cap sort of the bracelet, that would be really pretty. Also, if you didn't see it, this morning, Lynette and I went live and Lynette showed you how to set a rectangular cabochon. Talked a lot about how to set angled cabs and different tips and tricks, and walks you through the process of going from just bezel strip to a soldered, a finished and set rectangular cab. So go check that out. That's on our YouTube channel as well. So just some ideas, different linking mechanisms, different connections. Any of these, oops, here, we have a nice blank empty space right here. Oops. Could be linked together to create a really delicate necklace or bracelet. And I think this one would make a really good bail. Try and hold it up closer, focus on this. So we have, I think there's 2 shot plates that are part of the Art Deco spotlight. I believe one has 4 elements and one has 3. So lots of different links for bracelets. You've probably seen these. All of these, if you can see in the illustrations, it's a little hard to see, but all of these little dots would be where stones would be set. So super blingy. Yeah, so again, here's that sort of faceted look. Similar to these. Different shapes, obviously, but you could think about how you could integrate those small elements into a larger design. And, oops, we'll sneak over here. It's just really fun to look at. Here's more of the bracelet. This is somewhere where you could use a piece like this. I don't remember what this is called, nor do I remember what we said it was used for. But it would make a really nice center to like a cord bracelet or even some delicate chain. And then you could set a stone right in the center. That would be pretty. Same thing, different look entirely, but this is another design that is up right now. You could think about pressing this and using it as the center part of a bracelet or even a necklace maybe. It's another possibility for using like a small, triangular element. The end of a bracelet around a focal stone or something like that. It's nice to see, this is such a simple design. Like there's a jump ring, but then the pendant has these two loops on it. And instead of, just connecting the pendant to the jump ring straight away, there's this U-shaped piece with loops on the back that hook through those two loops on the pendant. So, it would have a lot of really good movement and motion as it's being worn. Be sure to comment if there's something that you would like me to experiment or play around with a little bit more. Let me know. Let me know where you're watching from, what you're working on today. So these are probably brooches. Oh, here's one. So this piece right here, even if you just ignore this outer circle, you could think of setting these types of elements on either side of a stone. Oops, there we go. Just to give you a different look. I'll do a different one. Just as a nice little decorative accent piece. Oops, there we go. That's really pretty. Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for hanging out again. Yeah, we are looking at this Authentic Art Deco Jewelry Designs. This is a Dover Books publication. And there are a lot of different examples in here that I think would work really well with some of the impression dies that we have up this week. So I just wanted to come on here and play around, and I have a couple, samples of stampings of the dies that are available this week. Not many, but I have some. And playing around with different design possibilities. So that would be cute on either side of a ring. Something like this. Oops, I'll slide this up. See sort of what that could look like with a stone set in the center. That would be very pretty. There's another ring idea. Maybe with, I'm trying to tilt the book so that the glare isn't too bad, but all my pieces are sliding all over the place. Whoops. Okay. So yeah, we're just looking at interesting illustrations and seeing how maybe some of the components that are in this week's spotlight can be used. A lot of the dies that we have and that we sell are components. They're not just a single design that you press and you're finished. So we need to come up with different ways that the elements can be used. So this is kind of interesting. There's a large circular cab. It's got sort of this hemisphere design around it. And then these are diamonds in the illustration, but you could do something where one of these small shot plate designs are attached to the ends. I think, oh my gosh, there's a dog in a doghouse. Kind of cute. Imagine it all sparkly, full of diamonds. This, oh, there's another dog. Like this earring, it could be, I keep going back to these small little components, but, you know, this center design here could work, and maybe something like this on either end, or this design, and maybe you have, you know, some chain if you don't want tons and tons of diamonds, which I don't. I don't want to set them, they're too tiny. But thinking about combining the different elements and how they can be used together. Oh, this, it's a little hard to see, but at the top, this is probably a purse handle. And look, there's more of those elements that could be, that we have in a shot plate that could be used. Oh, those are pretty. More bracelet ideas. You know, it could be, it's a lot more simple, but you could do something like this with the, yeah, Jennifer, it totally looks like a robot. After I scooted over to it, it's very robotic. Let's see, you could also potentially do something, oh gosh, with maybe 2 of these drops, or maybe you cut this, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to keep it flat. Maybe you cut the narrow end of this earring drop, cut this off, bam, and then you could do something similar to this. Maybe it's something kind of like that. You know, think about cutting apart your impressions, your stampings also, and just different ways that they can be used. If you're not familiar with Dover books, they're wonderful. They're usually very affordable, good for clip art and just design ideas in a ton of different topics. It's like a pocket magnifying glass. Kind of cool. These, I'm not actually sure, those may be buttons. What do you think's happening with this dog on this lighter? It's like a scared dog being chased by clouds. I don't know. Oh, here's another one. Maybe that's the other side, the dog smoking a pipe. Yeah, and then these very striking bracelets. Don't know what we have here. A tennis game. These are fun. Kind of the reverse or the negative image. Not like anything that we have up right now, but they're still kind of interesting. These are our drawings. So here's some Art Deco ring ideas. I actually don't remember if we have any settings up right now. I know we have some other mix and match shot plates. They aren't necessarily Art Deco, but they include some settings that I think could work in this. So that's kind of fun. These are likely brooches, or could be like clasps, or sort of, they're most likely brooches, actually, now that I'm saying it out loud. Very angular, geometric. I like how they have the bracelet design ideas laid out where it's just a horizontal bar. You know, this is probably leather or silk, most likely leather, and just the focal piece in the center. It's very clear as to showing off what the piece looked like. Something like that could be good. More links, you can see how this piece in the center, it has these two ends that would have been longer and then folded over to create a hinge or a pivot point. So this would not be a solid piece. It would have a lot of flexibility to it. And then you could do something similar where maybe you treat these more like a stone, where you would put diamonds or maybe set a cab or something. You could treat these small shot elements like that. Let's see. Yay to geometric. Oh, Jennifer, yeah. Dover, is it Dover Publishing, Dover Books? I'm not sure. They've been around for a long time, and they are wonderful reference books. These are probably more ring designs. Again, that would be a hinged element or a loop element. This is another interesting idea. This one would be more like a ribbon type design. So you could fabricate some sort of cap that would cover the end of the ribbon and attach an element like this. It's also a really good way when looking at books like this to see how multiples of the same element can be repeated to give it like a more complex look, when really this is the same element here and here and here, but as a whole it's much more striking and looks more complex. Different design ideas. I don't remember how many Art Deco impression dies that are up this week, but it's at least 20. Usually there's more. There's usually 20 or 25. So check them out. They're available this week only. They're very simple, clean designs. So there we go. Cool ideas for pendants. Something like, oh, it's sliding. There we go. An element like that could be used as a bail element, like in this orientation, to suspend a larger pendant from. That could be pretty. More bracelets. Brooches, even more bracelets. Yeah, so like this earring, it's less robotic looking than the other one from before. You could even do, so let's say you take this impression, but then you cut it across, cut it in the middle, so you only have half. So maybe you just treat that top half like the top of that earring, and then let's see, maybe something you know, imagine this bottom half isn't there, and you add another one of these small elements. Oh, it does not want to play along. Oops. Something like, I can get you to focus. So imagine this bottom half isn't there. Combining the different elements together, cutting them apart. It's really fun when you start looking at the impression dies, not just as a finished piece in and of themselves, but how you can cut them apart and use the individual elements. Oops, that's pretty. That probably a clasp, could be just a link. Another purse handle up at the top. Slide on over here. That's cool. This smooch and pooches. There's another one over to the left. So we're getting close to the end of the book. But hopefully this will give you some ideas for how some of the impression dies can be used, and how they were used, like based on designs from the time. And this will stay on our YouTube channel, so you can always come back and reference it. These are more bracelets. Again, it's the same element, just repeated over and over and over and over again. It's really nice. I like this one. More bracelets. So this would be more like a cuff style. It's just shown out straight. Oops, there we go. Now these are diamonds, but they could be those small shot plate elements. Almost at the end. Okay, we have some ring designs. These, like this small one here, could be like the side of a shank for a ring shank. You would just add metal to the base, or to the narrow end, and then fabricate a setting that would fit within. That would be pretty. Actually, any of those would work well. Any of these small geometric angled pieces would look good as part of a ring shank. Oh gosh, sorry, I hit my phone. So here's some other ring ideas. So something like that, just that element that I just showed you. Very similar. Just whoop, right there. The side of a ring. The shot plates are a really good deal. Like I said, you get 4 or 3 designs on a single puck. Some other pendant designs. Some more simple rings. Got sort of out of screen. There we go. Those clean, sharp edges. Really nice. Wow, these are cool. Probably earrings. And this brooch. They're really, these Dover books also really good for if you're thinking of shapes and just coming up with different ideas, different formats for, you know, anything that you're looking to make. They're really good reference books. Here's 2 with big lion heads. These would probably be brooches, maybe hairpins, I'm not sure. cool. There's some other ring shank ideas. That one's fun. These two. Very crisp, very clean. Bar pins, rings, maybe cufflinks. Next page. Oops. These are fun drops. This element would be a really good design for incorporating into a drop or a chandelier type earring. And then so down here also something like this could be really effective. Maybe these are strung beads. Maybe that's a larger glass bead. Some more ring shank ideas. Again, you can see these elements right here where these little accent pieces would be very well suited for creating these decorative bands for rings. Sort of, you can treat them as an applique where you would fabricate the ring shank and sweat solder the accent onto the shank. That would be one way to tackle that. These are nice. More ring designs. Like, I think these are rings, but they read as clasps to me, or they could read as clasps. No instructions, but kind of interesting ideas for ways that they maybe could be used as a clasp or a buckle of some sort. All right, even more rings. Those are good. Yeah, those are really cool. I don't know how, but I feel like there'd be a way to incorporate parts of this into a ring shank as well. Maybe cut it here at the bottom and then maybe across above these two swirly elements. You'd probably have to add some length, but it could be like a side of a ring shank. Some more ring ideas. Those are cool. Okay. Oh, that's a clock. So that would be a much larger scale than what the other things we've been looking at are. More ring shanks. Again, I don't know. Probably a case or a compact of some sort. Same with this one. These would be cufflinks, most likely. These look like little boxes. Sports boxes. I don't think we have anything figurative up in our spotlight this week. So that was this book. Let me flip it over if you're just joining us. This is Authentic Art Deco Jewelry Designs. It's a Dover Books publication. And a lot of the designs in here really work well for some of the impression dies that we are offering this week. We are doing an Art Deco Impression Die Spotlight. It runs through Sunday. We have a bunch of different designs, and these are just a few of them. I flipped through the book. The video will be up and available for viewing after this, if you missed some of it. But these are just some of the stampings that of the dies, that are available right now that can work with some of the designs in that book. So I hope that helps. Let me know and have a wonderful rest of your evening. And we will see you next time. Thanks, everybody. I think good.